Now, the first half of day one into the Commission of Inquiry into the events surrounding the March 2, 2020 general and regional elections has just concluded. Two persons have taken the stand and have given evidence to the Commission of Inquiry, and that would be Chief Elections Officer of the Guyana Elections Commission, Mr. Vishnu Prasad, as well as Assistant Commissioner of Police, Mr. Edgar Thomas. Now, some very important revelations have been made in that regard, and we will share with you in this update. Chief Executive Officer Vishnu Prasad was the first to testify in front of the Commission. One of the most startling revelations made by the CEO came when he was asked whether security footage was available for review. This footage would have been able to distinctly show what took place in the Ashman's building after the elections day on March 2. Here's what Prasad had to say.
In relation to the elections or what occurred or what may have occurred in March 2020 at Ashman's building, are you able to say whether there is any security footage available?
No, I am not aware that any such footage is available. In fact, I did inquire. I was informed that the cameras were installed in that building on the instructions of the Chief Election Officer. That might have been done by a private service provider. Nobody seems to know when the cameras were removed nor where the footage might be. And in terms of records, may I venture that when I assumed office in the office of the Chief Election Officer, where the computers which should have had information or could have had information in that regard, all of the computers were wiped clean.
While explaining the electoral process, Prasad highlighted what exactly was in the ballot boxes used by the Guyana Elections Commission during the 2020 general and regional elections.
The only documents that are placed in the ballot box are the marked ballots.
No, the marked ballots, the unmarked ballots which might have been remaining, which were unused ballots, spoiled ballots, rejected ballots, and those type of things go into that.
In separate
envelopes. The marked lists that were used by the presiding officer goes into that ballot.
No statutorily required document is placed in that box.
As in, if you mean in this case statement of poll, the answer is no, because the ballot is a statutory document.
Assistant Commissioner of Police and Head of the Presidential Guard, Edgar Thomas, who was second to testify in today's session, detailed the election arrangement that was put in place.
Do you recall attending a meeting in February of 2020?
Yes, I can recall.
And where was this meeting held?
It was at GCOM office, page 2, Kingston.
And by GCOM, do you mean the Guyana Elections Commission office?
Yes, the elections.
Further, Thomas revealed that at the end of Elections Day, a strange revelation was made by the then Commissioner of Police, Leslie James.
Leslie James. And he requested 5 bits of information, if I can recall. One, the amount of elector on the list.
The number of persons who had voted. What was the third thing the commissioner required?
So I think 5 was the amount of persons voting, the vote, the amount of persons to be voted.
Number of persons waiting to vote?
Yes, in the line.
And what was the fifth thing?
The end of poll, that a copy of statement of poll must be transmitted to the post report to the WhatsApp group.
The former commander then detailed what transpired on March 5, 2020 at the Ashman's building involving former IT officer at GCOM, Enrique Livan. According to Thomas's testimony, Levan was observed in another room of the Ashman's building, away from the tabulation room, purportedly tampering with data. It was then agreed that Levan would place what was on his computer and flash drive on a large screen so those present can see. It was then observed that the numbers on his Excel spreadsheet were different from those in the possession of everyone else. Continuing his testimony, Thomas highlighted that on the same day in question, there was heavy police security at the Ashman's building, giving an almost undeniable impression that there was something secretive ongoing. Thomas's testimony so far paints a picture of how senior ranks of the Guyana police force were complicit in the attempt to rig the March 2nd, 2020 election. Though never being called to assist with security at Ashman's building, Thomas said several special branch and tactical services unit ranks were present at the facility. Although being in charge, Thomas never instructed for these ranks to be at the building.
Well, the instruction was clear to me that he gave them to man the door, preventing persons at CHICOM, mostly political party representative, from entering certain areas.
Certain areas of Ashman's building?
That's correct.
Noting that these instructions allegedly came from Senior Superintendent Philip Azor, what Thomas revealed next was truly startling.
Ms. Byers was in a conversation with Deputy Commissioner Graham, indicating within my hearing, indicated to her that Thomas is not complying, with Thomas, the Assistant Commissioner, is not complying with the instruction to get out, people out of the building.
After this entire ordeal unfolded and Thomas, according to his testimony, did not comply with these instructions in any way, the former divisional commander was ridiculed and relieved of his command for not complying with the instructions given by Roxanne Myers. Thomas stated that for further clarification, he attempted to make contact with the Commissioner of Police, Leslie James, which was to no avail. Thomas claimed that he was further humiliated by being assigned to the police headquarters without an office, a desk, or any duties to perform.
You said you made efforts to contact the commissioner.
Yes.
For what purpose were you calling the commissioner then?
Tell the commissioner that based on the action of Mr. Davis, that I'm no longer in charge of that commission, and I was seeking permission to leave the premises.
Can I ask you?
You wanted to tell him that as a result of the presence of Mr. Davis
And the right here.
and its team, you wanted permission to leave the building.
Yes.
Did you ever get the opportunity to convey that to him?
No, he did not answer.
Can I ask you? Did you try calling the commissioner once, twice,
Several times.
several times, and with the same result?
Same result.
You did not get through to him.
I call him on more than one telephone numbers.
The Commission of Inquiry was set up by His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali to inquire into the events surrounding the March 2, 2020 general and regional elections. The electoral process was protracted for more than 5 months as there were several attempts made to delay and deliberately manipulate the results of those elections. The Commission of Inquiry is tasked with revealing all that occurred during that period.